As a child, I believed life was a straight road. I believed that those who prayed devoutly enough would be spared the storms, that God would remove from our path every shadow that threatened our peace. Above all, I believed that faith was a permanent light, always shining on the horizon. In time, I learned there are days when the horizon simply vanishes. The darkness arrives without asking permission. It settles in so completely that we forget the look of the dawn. The weight in one's chest grows silently, and hope seems but a distant memory. In these moments, we often do not feel the divine presence. We feel its opposite, the silence. And when God's silence lingers, fear begins to speak. Some say faith is certainty. For me, faith is a path not always paved, full of stones that cut the feet, of slopes that exhaust the body, and of nights that imprison sight. A path where, often, we doubt the direction. A path where even breathing becomes a struggle. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I have repeated this verse countless times. I have declared it with a firm voice, as one reciting a victory. But I have also whispered it with a tremulous voice, trying to convince myself it was true, when everything around me shouted the contrary. Because there are valleys, and valleys are not merely geographical places, they're places of the soul. There are moments when our own mind rises against us. It destroys us with painful memories, with the guilt we carry, with what we never said, with what we didn't do in time. The mind constructs enemies where once there were open doors. It turns hope into delusion, and it pushes us down, where the light does not reach. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it is a destination all must traverse one day. The psalmist did not say if, but when. The valley is not a remote possibility. And in this valley, the shadows take form. The shadow of failure, the shadow of loss, the shadow of words that wounded, the shadow of prayers that seemed to fall into the void, the shadow of loneliness, even when surrounded by people. These shadows often follow us so closely that we begin to believe they are part of us. I myself have wondered if the faith I carried was genuine, or merely a comfortable construct to try and escape despair. I have looked to the sky searching for answers and seen only leaden clouds. I have wept silently, afraid that God had forgotten to look upon me. But then I remembered a truth that does not change, even if everything within me falls apart. The shepherd does not abandon his sheep. You are with me. I realize that faith is not the absence of the valley. It is the guarantee of companionship on the path. If God says he is with me, even if my heart does not feel it, even if my body doubts, even if my mind screams, even if my eyes see only chasms, he is there. His presence does not depend on my perception. It exists because he promised it, and he does not fail. On some days, the path is arid. The ground offers no comfort. The soul cries out for rest, and yet he guides. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. It is not merely about physical landscapes. They are internal places where peace hides, where the heart learns to breathe again. The shepherd leads us there. Sometimes through the force of circumstances, sometimes through the silence that forces us to stop, sometimes through the pain that keeps us from running headlong toward the precipice. He restores the soul, not as one who mends something broken on the outside, but as one who touches what no one else sees, and rebuilds from the interior to the exterior. Even so, the valley remains, and in it, enemies draw near. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. How strange. Why a table? Why not a sword? Why not a wall to protect me from them? Because God does not remove the enemies before the victory. He strengthens me before them. They do not define my end. They're merely spectators to what God will do in me. Often the greatest enemy is not a person. It is the voice that says, we will not make it, that we are too small, too unworthy, too late. And he reminds me that I am not what the fear says I am. That voice which dwells in the depths of our chest and convinces us that divine grace does not reach shattered places. But then God anoints my head with oil. I am someone chosen, guarded, loved. My cup overflows. It overflows, not just full, not just sufficient, it overflows. The shepherd does not work with minimum measures. He responds with abundance, where the valley tried to impose scarcity. There is a part of the psalm that always moves me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. It is not a wish, it is a certainty. Goodness does not abandon me to my mistakes. Mercy does not abandon me to my shame. They follow me. No matter where I go, no matter the detours I take, no matter how many times I stumble in the darkness, they follow me. Even when I run in the opposite direction. Even when I hide because I do not feel worthy of God's love. Even when my faith is but a fragile flame threatened by the wind of pain, goodness and mercy find me, even in the valley. God is not the shepherd only while I feel strong. He is the shepherd when weakness becomes my only company. He does not guide only when I know the way. He guides when I am utterly lost. Faith is not a constant feeling. It is a daily decision. It's to say, although the shadows whisper, I walk on. Although the pain presses in, I advance. Although my bleeding soul begs to give up, I continue, because He is with me. The valley has an end, even when it seems infinite, even when each step weighs 1,000-fold, even when the seconds drag on like centuries. The shepherd does not establish permanent dwellings in the desert. He allows the crossing so that I may arrive stronger at the next green field. There is a house beyond the valley, a table prepared after the confrontation, a peace that blossoms after the war. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. This is the destination. This is the promise. This is the certainty that sustains every step. Therefore today I say to myself, with the firm voice I once lacked, the valley does not define me. The pain does not consume me. The darkness does not defeat me. The shadow does not frighten me. Death does not enclose me. The silence does not separate me from the God who guides me. The Lord is my shepherd. He sees me when no one sees. He hears me when all fall silent. He sustains me when my strength fails. He loves me when I myself doubt who I am. And as long as He is with me, even if the night lingers, a new day will dawn. Please consider subscribing to the channel. God bless you.